Good morning. For the webinar reminders, please mute your audio and disable video when joining the Zoom and during the course of the seminar. Audience can ask questions to the speaker by typing the questions in the Zoom chat room. Requirements for the issuance of the e-certificate would be pre-registration of the participant. You should stay in the entire duration of the webinar and answer the post-evaluation of the webinar. Please be informed that the evaluation form can only be accessible up to 2 p.m. We would like to acknowledge the presence of our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Maria Luella O. Estrufa. We'd also like to acknowledge the President, Dr. Joselito Gutierrez. Good morning also to the Director of Shoe and Leathercraft, Dr. Wilma Balbarais, to the Director of the Extension and Linkages, Ms. Lailani Escalada. Moving on with the program, we will be starting our program with a prayer. So again, for the webinar reminders, please mute your audio and disable video when joining the Zoom. And during the course of the seminar, audience can ask questions to the speaker by typing the questions in the Zoom chat room. Requirements for the issuance of the e-certificate would be pre-registration of the participant. You should stay in the entire duration of the webinar and answer the post-evaluation of the webinar, and the form is only available up to 2 p.m. So we'll be starting the program with a prayer.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Father in heaven, always merciful and giver of life, we humbly ask that you bless each one of us, from the speakers, program committees, guests, and participants. Guide us to make better decisions as we incorporate what we will learn throughout this activity. Thank you for the infinite blessings and countless opportunities. Lord, today as we start our activity, may we always be grateful to learn new things. Shed the light of your wisdom and bless each one, especially our speakers, as they will share their knowledge to us. Through your mercy
Walang
and
audio ko
grace,
kanina?
may peace and
Wala akong
utmost
audio kanina.
understanding shine and dwell unto us. Almighty God, accompany each one and help us concentrate for us to gain more knowledge as we listen attentively. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Makinang na kinabukasan aking makakamtan. Hindi maninimdim sa banta ng kahirapan. Ako na inihanda ng mahal kong paaralan. Politeknikong kolehiyo ng Marikina, ang teknikal na edukasyon, kinintal mo't wina. Politeknikong kolehiyo ng Marikina, talino ko'y binabanday, puro mo'y pag-asa. Sinisintang paaralan, ikaw ang katuwang sa pagkamit ng mitin, siya mong hangarin. Kahit saan pa mapatpat ay hindi mababagat. Gunom na iyong bigay ang magsisilbing gabay. Politeknikong kolehiyo ng Marikina, ang teknikal na edukasyon, kinintal mo't wina. Politeknikong kolehiyo ng Marikina, talino ko'y binabanday, puro mo'y pag-asa. Marikina Polytechnic College,
Let's now hear the opening remarks of our college president, Dr. Joselito B. Gutierrez.
Good morning to everyone. Welcome to this webinar on the ethics of writing in research. I'm so happy that we're gathered here today despite of the pandemic that is going on. And I should recall that a few months ago, there were only one or two infected with virus, but now it's more than 10 million all over the globe and more than 44,000 all over the country. This is truly very fearful, and there's a need for us to be very careful, take care of ourselves because no one else will do as much as possible. Wash your hands regularly, put your mask on every time you go out, and some are saying it's safer that you have a face shield other than or rather than wearing face mask because face mask covers your breathing and it's difficult to breathe if you have the face mask with you. Some are saying it's safer to wear face shield. I haven't tried it. Now in August, I'm confident that all of us can teach what we want to teach, or I'm confident that all of us are able to teach our expertise, our mastery. But the problem now is the mode of delivery is different. Our classroom is no longer the traditional classroom. It will be the Google Classroom. It will be the Google Meet classroom. It will be the Zoom portal. It will be the Skype. It will be the Messenger. It will be the Facebook. So it's totally different. And the only way to survive this crisis is for us to move on using all digital technology that we have. The administration is trying its best to request the board for us to provide available, flexible digital materials for everybody. And we're still waiting for the meeting of FinCom so they can finalize the request of MPC for us to finance some of these digital technology modalities. I'm on the other hand, I'm sad because I can see that out of more than hundreds of faculty that we have, only less than 39 are present. So sayang naman itong presentation ni Miss Ara kung di natin maximize. Bukod doon ay, we have to be very careful in writing. Ched would always say napakaraming legal issues pagdating sa mga pagsusulat, yung mga thesis na yan, dissertation, and other writings na nag-violate ng mga batas patungkol sa pagsusulat. Kaya nga it's proper that we commence this undertaking by starting with a seminar on the ethics of writing. And I'm so happy that Miss Ara is able to give us her time and her expertise on this matter. I also would like to thank Dr. Rupa for helping us arrange this and all the other officials of the Research and Development Committee and the RD department. I hope this can be recorded in YouTube or in other formats, so this can be replayed in the free time or during the free time of some of our faculties who are not here. Napakahalaga po na tayo ay magkaroon ng module sapagkat I'm telling you, face-to-face is no longer possible until this COVID-19 is infecting millions of people all over the globe. In the Philippines, the projection could be by the end of July, baka po tayo ay umabot na ng 60,000 infected with coronavirus. Nakakatakot po talaga, but I choose to stay in MPC sapagkat pag di po ako nagstay dito ay walang gagalaw sa atin, hindi tayo makakagalaw mabuti, wala tayong finance, wala tayong admin, wala tayong academic movements, wala tayong compliance sa mga government agencies. So hindi na po ako umuwi ng Bulacan since March 9 until now. I'm here. Hindi ko na nakikita ang aking mga mahal sa buhay doon. It's fine because kasama ito sa ating sinumpaang tungkulin. Sa hirap at ginhawa ay narito po ang inyong lingkod. So sana ay maka-avail at makahabol pa yung iba nitong seminar na ito. And I also pray na bago matapos ang July, meron na tayong mga draft modules. No? Ang modules natin ay merong 4 minimum na template. 1 template for the academicians, 1 template for the technologists, no? Headed by Dean Nuevo. Yung academicians ay headed by, of course, Dr. Rupa and si Dr. Mande and si Olive. And of course, we have the engineering template headed by Sir Philip, our OIC Dean. And of course, the shoe and leather craft or the business template na pinamumunuan po ngayon ni OIC Dean Perez. And of course, out of these 4, kung gusto niyo magkaroon tayo ng iba pang mga template like if social sciences would like to have their own template, it's up to you. Ang bottom line is, halimbawa, no? Nagtuturo tayo ng automotive, 5 tayo, we're teaching the same subject. They can just sit down together, yung 5 sila, and come up with 1 module using the same template of the technology department. Sa engineering naman, kung meron tayong 3 professors na electronics engineering and they're teaching the same subject, can also do the same para mas madali na ang paggawa nito. So we will be needing, of course, yung ating mga library materials na available. I have to tell you that you have to come here and get them or borrow them. Andito naman si Sir Lou para meron kayong magamit na references. And all our writing should be original because my dream is even in this pandemic, makapag-advance po tayo, makapag-achieve tayo. And what I'm trying to say is I already spoken with the St. Andrew Publishing House. They're willing to publish our modules. They're willing to print this for us, and they're also willing to sell this in SUCs and even in national bookstore kung gusto po natin itong maibenta. Once again, pagpasensyahan niyo po ang ating sitwasyon ngayon. This is the first time na tayong lahat ay dadaan sa ganitong sitwasyon. May mga flaws, may mga shortcomings, may mga misunderstanding. Sana yung ating pong understanding, yung ating pag-unawa, yung ating kasi nga first time nating dumaan lahat dito. We cannot perfect this kasi first time nating dadaanan at sana wala na ulit tayong daanan pang ganito. So there is a need for us to understand kung meron tayong mga miscommunication, meron tayong mga misunderstanding, and sana maging forgiving tayong lahat. So God bless you all, and I wish you all the best. At sana ay sinabi nga ni Lord, all of us are sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise. Hawakan natin to with all our hearts and with all our minds, and God will take the rest. Sabi nga ni Lord sa kanyang salita, will I find faith when I go back to earth? So isa po sa hanapin sa atin ng Panginoon, hindi yung ating mga achievements, ang hanapin po sa atin yung ating pananampalataya. So nung marinig ko yung virus na yan, I just held on to that promise. You were sealed, past tense. You were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise that is found in Ephesians chapter 1. And that promise is until the coming of the Redeemer. So that means that promise is in force. That promise is active from the time you receive it until the Lord comes, no? Yung second coming ng Panginoon. Kaya po aawa ng Diyos kahit na tayo ay payatot, maliit ang katawan, awa ng Diyos ay hindi tayo nakakasipon, and no COVID-19 is entering our system. Dahil nga pinangahawakan natin yung salita na yan, the past tense word of the Lord, parang sinasabi niya, it is finished, it is done, it is yours to just enjoy. You were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise. God bless you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful opening remarks, Dr. Gutierrez. Again, the administration is doing everything that they can to provide the digital platform. Now, let's move on with our speaker. Now, Miss Maria Arabi Santos is currently the OIC Director of the Research and Development Office for Marikina Polytechnic College. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Biology from University of the Philippines, Baguio, and Master's degree in Science Education from Marikina Polytechnic College. She is currently taking her Doctor of Philosophy in Biology Education at University of the Philippines, Diliman. She is a licensed professional teacher and serving as an educator for more than 9 years. She was able to publish an activity manual for disaster readiness and risk reduction. She was able to take part in several training and workshops relevant to academic and research writing and intellectual property policy writing. Let's call on our speaker, the OIC Director for Research and Development Office, Ms. Maria Ara B. Santos. Ma'am?
So good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me? So I will just share my PowerPoint presentation. Good morning once again sa faculty members ko po, and even to some of my graduate students who are able to participate today. Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez, and thank you, Dr. Rupa, for supporting this event, which is entitled Guide to Ethical Writing. So as mentioned a while ago by our president, so we are tasked to write our learning modules this coming school year. So hopefully, with what I know about intellectual property and ethical standards, we are able to guide you on how to write your learning module within the bounds of ethical standards. Now, with this, the scope of our session will be divided into 3. The first part will be about plagiarism. What is plagiarism? What are the types of plagiarism? And how can we avoid plagiarism? Then the next one, we have copyright. So we will describe what is copyright and what are the rights under copyright. We will also discuss what is fair use and what is authorship and the responsibilities of authors. And last one, we have Creative Commons. Since we are using open resources online so we can see Creative Commons and what do the CC licenses means and how can we properly attribute CCC licenses materials. So for our startup, my question is, for you, what is ethical writing? So you can chat your answers. How will you describe ethical writing? So writing properly, writing ano po yun? Respect, citing sources, yan, thank you. Following proper standards, yes. No harm to anyone. Yan. So according to Merriam-Webster, when we say ethics, as we all know by our society teachers, we can say that ethics is defined as the discipline dealing with what is good and bad with moral duty and obligation. So when we are tasked to write our lessons and modules, so our students and our readers would assume that what we have written and presented is originally made by the author, unless we have identified it by quotation marks or having footnotes. So Roy mentioned that ethical writing should be clear, accurate, fair, and honest. Okay? Now, in academe, one of the most common issue that we face is plagiarism. So as defined, plagiarism is the act or instance of using or closely imitating the language and thoughts of another author without authorization and the representation of the author's work as one's own as by not crediting the original author. So we can manifest plagiarism not only in research papers and books, but also in speeches, in presentations, and in artistic works. So plagiarism can be intentional or not intentional. It can be a result of performance pressure, lapse in judgment, or not familiar with the standards of ethical bounds in writing, and other reasons. So the key principle in plagiarism is that we should not present the work of others as if it is our own. So yan lang naman po yung sinasabi ng plagiarism. So we should always attribute and give credit to the sources that we have. But also, there are also provisions when it comes to plagiarism. Now we know that Turnitin is one of the software we use to check for plagiarism. And they have identified 10 types of plagiarism committed, and they rank this based on severity and on frequency. So number one is we have clone. So that is the most severe type of plagiarism. Why? Because this is an act when the author just submit another's work word for word and without citing its resources, and it is as if he is submitting that as his own. Okay, so this is the most frequent type of plagiarism that is committed. Then we have what we call as control C. In this one, the piece that we write, we copy portions of what we submit and then from a single source without any alteration and without citing the original source. So that is the second to most severe. Then we have control F, or what we call as find and replace. So in this one, we just change keywords and phrases, but still we retain the essential context or content of the source that we copied from. And then we have remix. This type of plagiarism is when we generously borrow from previous work without even citing them, and we are able to mix them together as if it is a one original paper. Okay? And then recycle. We have recycle. This is an act of self-plagiarism. Why self-plagiarism? So this is if the author generously borrows his own previous work. So some of us are able to publish our own books, our own researches, and we want to use it again, or we intend to use it again, and presenting it as if it is new. Okay, so that is recycling and that is self-plagiarism. So in some academe, they require the author who have published the work, if they will use that again, you need to cite your own work. Then next one, this is the least severe, and then this is their frequency. So we have hybrid. So in hybrid, this is the act of combining perfectly cited resources with copied passages without citation to any paper. So in this one, what is the difference between remix and hybrid? In remix, you mix different type of resources without citing. In hybrid, you have certain portions in your paper that you cite, but you mix it up with other types of resources that you don't give citation. So it is a hybrid of cited source and non-cited sources. Then we have mosaic. So this one, this is somewhat like our remix, but this one, this paper, it represents copied materials from different resources without citation. In this one, the writer tries to disguise plagiarism by copying several different resources and tweaking the sentences to make them fit together and retain the most original part. So in frequency, this is one of also the highest type of plagiarism. Then we have 404 error. So what is this one? This is when you include references that is non-existent or inaccurate information about the resource. Sometimes in our teachers or some of the teachers would require their students to include 50 references. Kaya lang hanggang 20 lang yung reference mo. So anong gagawin ng ibang writer? They will add other references kahit na hindi naman talaga siya ginamit. So 404 error yon. So sometimes the writer do this to increase their list of references. And then we have RSS feed, or this is what we call as aggregator. So in aggregator, you have proper citation, and then nakapag-quotation ka naman. Kaya lang, anong problema doon? Ang problema sa aggregator is that kahit nakapag-cite ka ng references mo, nakapag-paraphrase ka, meron kang quotation, pero walang original work dun sa mismo mong pinasa. Lahat siya ay nakasite mula sa ibang references. So, wala pa rin doon, originality from the paper. So, parang nagiging resourceful citer ka lang. And then this one, we have retweet or repost. So this one, this also includes proper citation, but the writer is very close in copying the original wordings and structure of the source. Okay, so these are some of the examples para mas maintindihan natin yung iba't ibang types ng plagiarism. So if we will run this in, turn it in, you can also chat your answer if you know what type of plagiarism is being shown. So this one, this is the original text, and this is the rewritten text. So what type of plagiarism is being shown here? So this one is an example of remix. Bakit siya remix? So as we can see, in this paper, these are the highlighted parts. So ang ibig sabihin po kasi ng highlighted parts, this came from different resources. So we have light gray, gray, and then the red one. So meaning this came from 3 different resources. But if we will read this, wala siyang kahit anong reference or citation kung saan nanggaling itong mga nilagay niya na wordings or references dito. So this one is an example of remix. How about this one? Ano po kaya ito? So this one is an example of Control F. Bakit Control F? Kasi kung i-compare natin siya dun sa original text, yung mga nakabilog po na portion dyan. So ang ginawa niya lang, pinalitan niya lang ng synonyms mula dun sa original. Kunwari po, yung indigenous, ginawa lang niya pong native. 19th, mula sa word, ginawa niyang numerical, and so on. So this one is find and replace. How about this one po? So this one is an example. Mapapansin niyo po, lahat naka-highlight. So dahil lahat naka-highlight, ibig sabihin, clone to. So kinopya niya word for word lahat mula sa original source. Tapos walang citation kung saan galing. How about ito po? Ito, any idea? So this one, this is an hybrid. Bakit siya hybrid? Mapapansin niyo po, etong gray, naka-quote and quote siya. Tapos po, meron siyang footnote. So ibig sabihin, galing siya dito sa reference na to. Pero etong orange po na to, yung nasa pagitna, meron din siyang pinagkopyahan na source. Pero hindi niya sinite kung saan galing source yan. So ito po yung example ng hybrid. So, combination siya ng naka-cite na source or reference and then isang reference na pinagkopyahan pero hindi niya na sinite kung saan galing. And then this one, ano po kaya ito? So, ito ay example naman ng mashup. Bakit siya mashup? Kasi ito, different resources yung naka-highlight pero anong pinagkaiba niya dun sa una? Dun sa hybrid, meron pang citation. Dito sa mashup, wala na talaga siyang citation. Basta kinombine niya na lang mula sa iba't ibang resources. Okay? Then this one, any idea kung anong klase kong plagiarism ito? Ayan. This one is an example of retweet. So, bakit po retweet? Kasi meron kayong makikita dito na meron siyang proper citation. So, sinite niya tong original source. Pero, kung mapapansin niyo po, meron naman siyang mga binago, modification, pero most of ng mga wordings niya doon, very close pa rin siya sa original work. So, wala masyadong nabago pagdating sa context at pati sa structure. So, sa sentence structure na original work. Kaya retweet po siya. Last one po. Etong last one, ano naman po napansin natin? So napansin natin, marami siyang nakasite na sources. And then meron din siya dito, ayan, yung mga citation niya. Pero anong problema po dito? Yan, siya yung aggregator. Bakit? Kasi properly cited niya naman lahat ng sources niya eh. Kaya lang, mapapansin nyo, halos lahat ay kinopya. Walang original. So, ang galing lang sa kanya, itong Yosemite has A. So, ibig sabihin, the rest ay copied from a source. So, kahit na naka-cite kung saan galing yung source na yan, pero pag binasa mo yung entire text, wala nang original na galing sa author. So, ibig sabihin, type din pala siya ng plagiarism. Now, with this, this is an example of a thesis manuscript that we run using Turnitin. So, last year or last semester, we were able to run some thesis work using Turnitin. And ito yung isa sa mga outcome. Base po dito, ano po yung magiging interpretation nyo? Anong klase ng plagiarism yung nakomit dito? Ayan, mukha siyang find and replace. Mukha rin siyang clone, di ba? Clone pero merong mga words kasi na hindi naka-highlight. Ibig sabihin, binago niya lang to mula sa original author. For example, siguro sa original author ang nakalagay student. Pinalitan niya lang ng pupil. And then dito, iniba niya lang. So, ginawa niyang parent-teacher association. Pero itong buong paragraph na to, this is copied from a certain source. Tapos kung titignan natin itong next, yung naka-highlight, yung purple at saka red, mapapansin nyo, parang nakapagitna yung red dun sa purple. Tapos pag binasa natin maigi, ang naka-cite lang is itong purple. So, according to Joyce Pollard. Pero yung red, wala siyang kahit anong citation. So this one is an example of hybrid. So pinag-combine niya lang yung dalawang source, tas isa lang yung binigyan niya ng citation. So minsan dito nagkakaroon ng pag-commit ng plagiarism. So dapat lagi nating tatandaan, lagi dapat tayong may citation. Isa pang example. Dito, ano pong napansin nyo? Mapapansin po natin, maraming mga references. Ito, merong Hison 2016, and then merong Dakia 2015, tapos meron pa siyang quote and quote. So, ibig sabihin, galing siya doon. Pag unang tingin, wala pa siyang highlight. Mukha siyang aggregator kasi mula siya sa iba't ibang source. Pero pag nirun na natin siya sa plagiarism, mapapansin nyo, lahat siya kulay red. Ibig sabihin, galing lang yan sa isang source. So, pag chinek namin dun sa dulo, etong source niya, etong pula, galing yan sa isang thesis na sinubmit sa library natin. Kasi, yung most dun sa mga thesis na nasubmit na sa library, nanghingi kami ng soft copy, tas nirun na namin yun sa Turnitin para maiwasan nga yung pag-commit ng plagiarism. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga nilagay niya na reference dito na Hison 2016 at saka Dakia 2015, that is 404 error. Ibig sabihin, non-existent reference. And then, Control F kasi pinalitan niya lang yung ibang terms na makikita doon. Yung mga hindi naka-highlight na part. So most of that, kinopya niya lang sa isang thesis na nasa library natin. Pati yung mga reference na ginamit nung nagsulat na yon. So ano yung gagawin nating paraan para ma-avoid natin itong plagiarism? So I have 4 techniques or tips for you on how you can avoid plagiarism. So first one is of course, may naglagay nga sa comment, for ethical writing, we should always acknowledge our source. So, when in doubt, kung kailangan ba natin i-acknowledge yung source natin, kailangan lagi nating sinusulat sa reference list natin kung saan ang gagaling yung pinagkopyahan natin. Then next one, we should request permission of use. And then, we should do appropriate paraphrasing. And of course, last one, we should be familiar with copyright law. So first one, acknowledge the source. So it is morally and legally important that we acknowledge someone else's idea or word. So when should we cite? We should always cite ideas, theories of an individual that had influenced our work in providing information, support, and even critical definitions and data. Most of the time, since masyado na tayong familiar sa ibang mga concepts because marami na tayo na-attendan ng mga seminars, marami na tayo na-attendan na training, marami na tayong nabasa, minsan akala natin innately sa atin ang galing yun. Yung pala, pinagsama-sama na lang to nung wisdom natin mula sa pag-attend natin at pagbasa natin ng iba't ibang references. So dapat mababalikan natin yun saan ba nanggaling yung idea na yun at yung concept na yun. So what are the conditions in using other people's idea? So when we duplicate a material, number one that we should remember is that it should be small relative to the total length of your text. So once you do paraphrasing, relatively small lang siya. Hindi siya yung kamukha nung nakita natin na 3 paragraph na galing siya sa original source. Hindi ganon. So dapat ipa-paraphrase natin yun in such a way na ang nakuha mo lang is yung thought or yung idea ng original author. And the next one, you should have clear citation. So in our research office, we have here a flyer on APA style in citation. So later, after this seminar, I will give you the soft copy of this flyer so that you can have citation, proper citation using APA. And then any published tables, figures must be marked as reprinted or adapted. So if you will copy tables and figures from other published resources, so dapat nakasite kung reprinted ba yon or adapted. Later, we will define what is the difference between reprinted and adapted. So we have different types of citation. So we have in-text citation, we have quotation, and then we have footnotes. We have also reference list or bibliography. So for in-text citation, so in-text, ibig sabihin, nasa loob siya ng paragraph mo. So dito, meron akong iba't ibang example ng in-text citation. So for one author, ganito yung itsura niya. And then if you have two authors, ganito. And then if you have more than two authors, so et al na yung gagamitin nyo. So for your in-text citation, pwede siyang after the sentence or before the sentence. So like in this one. Then for quotations, we have two types of quotation. First one is the short quotation. So if your words is less than 40 words, like in this one, yung naka-highlight po. So ang gagawin lang po natin is to incorporate that in the text and then we use double quotation. And then after the double quotation, you will include yung reference, saan siya galing at saka yung page na pinagkuhanan natin. But kung more than 40 words yung ating kokopyahin, word for word, so gumagamit tayo ng quotation kapag word for word yung kokopyahin natin. Hindi natin siya mababago kasi kapag binago natin, mababago yung thought. So, kaya tayo gumagamit ng quotation. So, pag more than 40 words, so ito siya, long quote. Ito yung simula po ng long quote po. Mula kay Brunner, pababa, dito sa attributes. This is 85 words. So, kapag ganito siya, hindi na po siya naka-include sa text. Ano na siya? Freestanding. And then, you don't have to use quotation marks, pero naka-indent siya ng ½ inch from the left margin. Tapos, isa pa po sa, dito siya galing, The Burden and Bride, 2013. Tapos, nakalagay din kung saan page siya. Pero, hindi dapat natin alisin yung secondary source. So, si Burden and Bride, nakuha niya naman siya kay Brunner noong 1966 at saka kay Joyce and Well noong 2009. So kapag gagamit tayo ng long quotation, tapos nakita po natin na may secondary citation, hindi po natin siya inaalis. Sinasama po natin siya. Okay. So that is for long quotation. Other conditions for quotation, if we will omit some words, for example, in this one, ayaw nating isama yung poor mastery of the language terminology. So, gusto natin magsimula tayo sa tense. So, pwede tayong maglagay ng ellipsis or tatlong dot na magkakaiwalay. And then, quote and quote, etong ellipsis. Tapos, yung word for word na i-quote nyo. And then, double quotation marks. So, don't omit the citation, yung secondary citation. And then last one, paano pag walang page number? So, pag walang page number, ang ilalagay niyo po ay yung paragraph number. Okay, usually, walang page number kapag galing sa online reference. So, ang nilalagay po natin is yung paragraph number. Isa pa po sa footnote. So, kailan ba tayo gumagamit ng footnote? So we want to use footnote if we want to use or provide additional content or if we want to acknowledge copyright permission status. So if this is for copyright permission, we should always include, so for example, this is your source. So ito yung title ng article. And then ito yung author, tas ito yung copyright, kung sino yung may-ari ng copyright. Tas sa dulo nakalagay, reprinted with permission or adapted with permission. So usually, for example, sa mga nagma-master's thesis, so ang ginagawa po nila, yung survey questionnaire na galing sa DepEd, ina-adapt na lang nila yon. So, kailangan mag-a-ask muna kayo ng permission sa DepEd, tapos ilalagay nyo doon, adapted with permission. Okay? Or reprinted with permission. Ganon din po sa mga books natin. So, kung may gusto po tayong ilagay, and then, very significant yung table na yon para sa gagamitin natin, maglalagay po tayo ng copyright permission. So, ito, sa figures, so mas maganda diba ang module kapag meron tayong mga images. So, kapag sinabi nating figures, this one is images, illustration, photographs, maps, and even charts. So, you need to include or to show your reference in text at saka in reference list. So, for example, my lesson is about components of ecosystem. So, I want to use this picture. So, nag-search ako sa internet and then ito yung nakuha kong picture. And then nakalagay dito yung license niya. You can free to use this even without author's permission or even without attribution. Pero kahit na nakalagay dyan, i-attribute pa rin natin kung saan galing yung source. So ito na yung module ko. Ito yung kinuha kong picture. So nakalagay dyan, image by. Ito, siya yung gumawa. And then from, saan yung source? So Pixabay. So maliit lang. Pero pagdating sa reference list, nandun na yung kumpleto. So ito yung in-text citation na tinatawag natin. Tapos pagdating sa reference list, for example, ang ginawa ko kasi sa module ko, magkahiwala yung references at saka yung mga photo credits. So yung arrangement ng photo credits ko based on appearance. So kung sino yung nauna doon sa module. So ito yung aking reference list. So ito yung pangalan ng picture, sino yung gumawa nun ng picture, nag-take ng picture, saan siya nanggaling, tapos ito yung URL, kung saan mismo galing yung reference. So, ganun yung ideal way on how to attribute when it comes to figures. Now, paano naman kung ang picture na gagamitin nyo ay personal nyo within your own set of pictures na nakuha nyo? For example, this one. This is my personal picture of Mayon Volcano. So, ang gagawin ko lang, I will write my surname and then saan ko siya kinuha, tapos yung year kung kailan ko siya kinuha, tapos open and close, personal collection. Tapos hindi na natin siya ilalagay sa reference list kasi hindi naman siya publish. Okay? Naka-note lang dito na personal collection. So, paano naman yung kung mag-i-include po kayo ng artwork? So, kapag mag-i-include po kayo ng artwork, so kailangan ilagay nyo po yung artist, title, year created, and then saan nang galing siya. Sa book ba? Or kung saang publication siya nang galing. So, ganito yung itsura niya in text. Tapos, ganito yung itsura niya kapag nasa reference list po. Okay po? So, last one is reference list. So, automatically, everything that is cited in text must appear in reference list. And everything that is in your reference list should be cited in text. So, ganun yun. Kaya kung ano yung makikita natin sa reference list, ganun din yung nasa in text. Vice versa. So, example lang po ng reference list na dapat natin tandaan. So, kailangan meron siyang who, sino yung author or editor. Tapos, when, yung year of publication niya. What, ano yung title ng document. Where, saan natin siya nakita, yung publication niya, publisher, volume number, page number, pati yung complete URL. So, kahit mahaba yung URL niya, kailangan ilalagay pa rin natin dun sa ating reference list. So, sa revised edition ng APA citation, bukod sa author, meron pang ibang klase ng contributors. So, ito yung iba't ibang klase ng contributors. Hindi lang pala si author. So, for example, if it is for film, Then we have director. Pag TV series, we have producers or executive producers. If it is a podcast, yung host ng episode. If it is a webinar, so marami tayong ina-attendan ngayon na webinar, kahit na mga seminars na na-attendan natin. So ang isa-cite po natin doon is yung nag-present or yung speaker. And then, online streaming, so kung sino yung uploader, and yung photograph, which is the photographer. So kapag nalilito po kayo kung sino yung ilalagay sa author, so sila po yung mga contributors. Okay? So isa pa sa pinagbago ng APA citation, kung makikita nyo po kasi dun sa nagawa kong reference list, this one is, ano ko pa po ito kasi nagawa? 2018? Ayan. So, nakalagay pa po kasi dyan is, eto, retrieve from. So, yan po yung dati. Pero nagkaroon na po kasi ng revised edition si APA. So, ang revised edition ni APA is wala na siyang retrieve from. Ang nakasulat na po mismo is, kung galing man siya sa internet, saan siya. So, kunwari dito po, Springer Nature, and then susundan na po siya ng URL. O kaya kung galing siya sa BBC News, and then yung URL na BBC News. So, ang tatandaan lang po natin pagdating sa citation is ito. Kailangan yung arrangement, this one is based from the revised edition ng APA citation. So, the author's surname should be alphabetically arranged. So, in case na yung author ay marami kayong ginamit mula sa same author na yon, so yung arrangement niya naman is from oldest to newest. Pag walang author, ang gagamitin na po natin is yung title mismo ng document. Tapos yung ating first line, that is left justified, and then yung subsequent lines niya is indented. Yung capital, first word of the title is the only one that is capitalized, and it is italicized. Okay? So yan lang po yung basic rules when it comes to reference list. So yung paraan, kunwari, 1 author, 2 author, 3 authors. So nandun po yon sa ibibigay kong flyers as attachment for this one. So kanina nabanggit natin, reprinting and adaptation. So ano ang pinagkaiba ng reprinting and adaptation? So when we say reprinting, we want to reproduce the material as exactly as it appeared in the original text or source without any modification. So, kukopyahin lang natin word for word. Adaptation, there is a modification of the material to suit new purpose. So, meron tayong konting babaguhin para fit siya doon sa ating paggagamitan. So, kapag ganito, sa tingin natin substantial, yung amount ng text na makukuha natin mula sa author, kailangan na po nating humingi ng permission mula sa author. So this one, kapag napansin nyo na sobrang haba na yung quotation na gagamitin nyo, tapos gusto nyo gamitin yung table niya, so kailangan yung mag-request ng permission. So requirements for obtaining permission, it varies from one copyright owner to another. Some author, they do not hold the copyright of their work. Some publishers, they are strict when it comes to guidelines and attribution. So, as an author, it is our responsibility to check for the publisher and the owner of the copyright what is their requirements when it comes to adapting or reprinting the copyrighted material. So it is our responsibility as an author to seek for permission if it exceeds the concept of fair use. So mamaya i-discuss natin kung ano po ang fair use. So for example, nabasa ko po yung research ni Professor John Vermont of University of Cambridge. So nakalagay po dito siya yung copyright. The author is the copyright of this publication. Gusto ko pong gamitin yung kanyang survey questionnaire on Inventory of Learning Style in Higher Education. Tapos po, nakalagay naman dito yung kanyang email. So, ano pong ginawa ko? So, in-email ko po si Professor Vermont. So, ito po siya. Greetings. And then, nakalagay dito kung sino ako, para saan yung survey, para saan ko siya gagamitin. So, naka-indicate po yun dito. So, in-email ko po siya ng February 8, 2018. Tapos, nag-reply po siya ng February 9, the next day. So, dito nakalagay po sa email niya, "Thank you for your interest in our work. So, attached here is the inventory of our learning style and scoring key, both in its original 120-item version and its shortened 100-item version. I also attached 2 review articles on the ILS and related theory and research." So, hindi lang yung survey questionnaire niya yung pinahiram niya sa akin, pati yung review articles niya pinahiram niya sa akin. And then sinabi niya dito, "You may use the inventory for your research as you wish. There is no cost involved." So, yung iba kasi na mga authors, humihingi sila ng cost kapag gagamitin mo yung kanilang gawa. But this one, luckily, so wala siyang hiningi na cost involved. And minsan din yung ibang author, it took them longer period of time to respond. Okay, so dito, swerte na nakapag-respond agad si Professor Vermont. So, yun yung request for permission. Next one is appropriate paraphrasing. Kailan po ba natin masasabi na yung ginawa natin is correctly paraphrase or nasa clause pa rin siya ng plagiarism? So, kailangan pag paraphrase yung material natin, number 1 is that it is substantially shorter than the original work. And of course, you use different words and you use your own sentence structure. So, kahit na we use our own words and sentence structure, we should always convey the same exact meaning from the original author. Minsan kasi, kapag gumagamit tayo ng own words and same structure, sentence structure, baka nababago na pala natin yung gustong iparating ng original author. So, dapat cautious din tayo doon. So, no to cosmetic changes. Ano yung cosmetic changes? Yun yung papalitan mo lang yung 1 or 2 words niya, hahanapin nyo lang yung synonyms, or i-rearrange nyo lang yung order ng mga sentences. So, that is cosmetic changes. And the last one is be cautious with the use of common knowledge. Ano po ba yung common knowledge? Ito, principles and ideas that are known to the readers that do not need citation. For example po, the sun is the center of the solar system. So that is a common knowledge because everyone knows that the sun is the center of the solar system. Hindi na po natin lalagyan ng citation kung kanino nang galing yung the sun is the center of the solar system. Pero merong ibang mga concept na dahil masyado na tayong exposed dun sa concept na yun, masyado na tayong familiar, sa tingin natin, common knowledge siya. Pero pag binasa pala siya ng ibang readers or ng estudyante niya, natin, hindi pala yun familiar sa kanila. So, when in doubt, always use citation. So, for example, law of segregation or law of independent assortment ni Gregor Mendel. So, dahil lagi kong tinuturo yung Mendelian's law, parang familiar na yun sa akin. Pero sa readers or sa iba na hindi nag-aaral ng science, hindi sa kanila familiar yung law of inheritance or law of segregation. So, kailangan pa rin ako mag-cite ng reference. So, that is for appropriate paraphrasing. So, exercise po. Ito yung aking original version, tapos ito yung ginawang rewritten version. Ano po ba to? Paraphrase or plagiarize? I-type nyo po sa chat box. Ano sa tingin nyo? Yung red color po na naka-underline, ibig sabihin, word for word, kinopya niya. Tapos yung blue po, ibig sabihin niya, Change niya lang yung order. Ayan. So this one is an example of plagiarize. Okay? This is a case of plagiarism. Bakit? Kasi itong first sentence niya, makikita natin, minimal changes lang. Pinopya niya pa rin to. Lalo na pagdating dito sa second to third sentence niya. Yung naka-red, kopyang-kopya niya mula dito sa original. So this one is still a case of plagiarism. How about this one? Paraphrase or plagiarize? Ayan, so tama po. This one is a paraphrase work. Okay? So ang kinopya niya lang mula dito sa original work is yung aggressive behavior, familiar or, at saka resident wing. So the rest po is sa kanya ng wordings at sa kanya ng sariling sentence structure. So this one is our ideal paraphrase work. So kapag gagawa po tayo, ganito yung ating sasabihin correct version ng paraphrase material. Ito. So this one is another example of instructional module na nirun namin sa Turnitin. So ano pong napansin natin? So lahat to naka-highlight ng green. So ito yung module niya, ang part ng module niya sa overview. So sa overview niya, naka-green lahat, halos lahat ng portion. So chinek ko yung reference list niya. Sa reference list niya, tapos dun naman sa Turnitin, so okay, naka-cite naman siya sa reference, galing siya sa Monterey Institute. Okay? So dahil sa galing siya sa Monterey Institute, mapapansin natin, so ang ginawa ko, pinuntahan ko syempre yung Monterey Institute. Gaano ka-significant or gaano ka-substantial yung nakopya ni author mula dito sa reference. Si Monterey Institute, ito yung kanyang LMS. So ibig sabihin may LMS sila, tapos yung lesson naka-download doon. Ayan. So nung chinek ko po sa Monterey Institute, yung lesson na to, yung eto, kinopya niya yan, pinalitan niya lang yung course ng lesson, tapos the rest kinopya niya, tinanggal niya tong mga example, tapos susumunod naman. So this one is an example of Control F and Control C. Tapos itong sumunod naman, kinopya niya to, yung buong yan. Tapos nagkamali pa siya. Bakit? Tapos nilagyan niya, let's look at a couple of examples. Tapos ang sumunod na sa kanya, functions can be evaluated for. So nasaan yung example? So mula doon sa source, ito yung kinopya niya, let's look at a couple of examples. So merong sumunod na example. So automatically, very substantial yung portion na nakopya niya mula sa original source. Ayan, so ito pa. Tapos, improper citation pa siya. Bakit siya improper citation? URL lang yung nilagay niya. Hindi niya sinama kung sino yung author, kung sino yung publisher, kung anong year siya. Tapos, copyrighted pa siya. Ano ba yung copyrighted? Kailan ba natin masasabi na dapat fair use to, hindi to copyright infringement? So dapat familiar tayo sa copyright law, yung mga pinagkokopyahan natin ng sources. Last December 2018, so we were able to conduct basic intellectual property on patents, utility model, trademark, and copyright. So we were able to invite speaker from IPO Philippines. So when we say copyright, it is a protection given to the owner of the rights in an original work that an individual has created. So unauthorized use of copyrighted work may result to copyright infringement. Though we have what we call as fair use, we use fair use if it is for educational purposes, research purposes, and it is for non-profit. So, hindi dapat natin pinagkakakitaan. Now, sa atin, we have RA 8293 or what we call as Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. So, this RA 8293, this is a law to protect and secure exclusive rights to scientists, inventors, artists, and gifted citizens and creators. So meron tayong two rights under copyright. First one is moral right, and then the second one is what we call as economic rights. So when we talk about moral rights, this is to allow the author to take certain actions to preserve personal and link between himself and the author. Anong ibig sabihin nun? So yung author, you require the authorship to be attributed to the author. Ibig sabihin, always, kailangan sinasite natin yung author, yung creator, kung saan siya galing. The author can also allow alterations. Siya lang yung magsasabi kung may gusto tayong palitan or i-modify dun sa gawa niya, merong right yung author kung papayag ba siya o hindi. Object to any distortion and restrain the use of his or her name. Si author, meron siyang right kung gusto niyang ipagamit o hindi yung ginawa niyang material. Kaya tayo merong permission of use. And next one, we have economic rights. So this allows the author the right to derive financial rewards from the use of his work by the others. So si author, meron siyang economic rights pagdating sa reproduction of work, kapag ita-translate or i-adapt yung kanyang gawa. First, public distribution, rental, public display, and other means to communicate in the public. So, pwedeng makakuha ng financial gain or cost yung ating author. So, ano ba yung mga protected under copyright? So, this one is original literary and artistic works. So, this include books, pamphlets, yung mga modules natin. This can be protected under copyright. Periodicals, newspaper, lectures, sermons, addresses, dissertations that is delivered orally kahit wala pang paper, and then letter, dramatic and musical composition, works of drawings, paintings, yan. Under copyright siya. Original design, ayan, illustrations, drawings, photographic work, audiovisual, computer programs. So that is protected by copyright. And also derivative works. Pag sinabi nating derivative works, this is new works provided that yung new work natin, it will not affect the subsisting or the existing copyright of the original work. So for example, we want to translate one book into different language. So dapat papayag pa rin yung owner na gusto niya ipatranslate yung gawa niya sa Filipino or ipatranslate niya sa ibang dialects natin. So dapat papayag pa rin si author. Adaptation, arrangement of music, and other alteration, that is derivative work. Ano yung mga hindi protected ng copyright? Number one is idea or concept or principle. Remember, copyright protects express work. So for example, naisip ko, gusto kong gumawa ng automatic dispenser ng alcohol. Naisip ko lang siya. After 1 month, meron na nakapag-produce at saka nakapag-publish ng automatic dispenser ng alcohol. Pwede ko ba siyang isu ng copyright infringement? Hindi. Kasi ako, idea ko pa lang siya. Wala akong sinulat, wala akong pinublish na kahit anong gawa. So that is not protected by copyright. Procedure system, discovery or mere facts kahit na nakasulat siya. And then news of the day, items of press, and even yung mga government works. So that is unprotected by copyright. But of course, you must also give attributions. So ano ba yung limitation ng copyright? So this law, it grants protection to the creator and owner. But at the same time, we want to ensure public benefit for the use of work. Hindi pwedeng nakatago lang kay creator yung gawa niya. So kailangan, kaya nga tayo gumagawa ng mga materials for public knowledge. So we want to disseminate accurate information. So the limitation of copyright is number one, fair of use, And the next one is non-voluntary license. So when we talk about fair use, this may be carried out without the authorization and without an obligation to compensate the owner for the use, provided that we acknowledge the owner of the copyright and we use this for non-profit purposes. And then for non-voluntary license, this may be carried out without authorization, but we must give obligation to compensate the owner of the copyright. So another limitation of copyright is, for example, we have works, performances, and we want this to be accessible to the public. So kapag naka-public na siya, hindi na siya under the copyright. So, under limitations na siya. Tapos, ginawa pa natin yon for charitable purposes. So, kapag merong gumamit nun, basta sinite ka niya, okay lang. Kasi, under na siya ng charitable purposes. Okay? So, kapag gumamit tayo ng mga quotations mula sa mga na-publish na, tas under siya ng fair use. So, under siya ng limitations na copyright. So, for example, we want to include illustrations, yung mga pictures for training purposes, for non-profitable purposes. Under fair use pa rin siya. So, pag sinabi natin fair use of copyright work, we use others' work for criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, research, and similar purposes is not an infringement of copyright. So nakalagay, provided that the source and the name of the author appears in the work. So lagi natin kakalimutan na i-cite yung ating source. Okay? So for this one, you should also consider purpose and character of use. Para saan ba yung paggamit natin ng material? For commercial ba? For non-profit ba? Ano yung nature ng copyright? Baka merong terms yung may-ari ng copyright. Kailangan din natin yung i-consider. Yung amount and substantial use. Pag marami na tayong gagamitin dun sa gawa, again, kailangan nating magpaalam doon sa owner. And effect of use. Baka mamaya mag-translate tayo, tapos mas mabenta pa yung gawa natin mula din sa original. So, kapag ganon, kailangan ng merong mapag-usapan na kayo ng original source kung ano yung magiging terms and condition nyo. Now, isa pa sa limitation ng copyright is yung reproduction. So, ito kasi minsan, di ba tayo sa school, nagpapa-photocopy tayo ng mga references. So, yung reproduction of published work can be permitted without the authorization of the owner, provided that we will use that exclusively for private study and research. And this can be permitted. So, kapag magpapa-photocopy tayo ng libro, kailangan private use lang natin siya. Pero, ito yung mga exemptions. Hindi pwedeng entire book or substantial part ng book. For example, pina-book alike nyo na o kaya kalahati na ng book pina-photocopy. That is substantial. So, siguro 1 page, 2 page, chapter. So, pwede yun for reproduction. Compilation of data and other materials. And then works of architecture in the form of building and construction. So itong mga to, ito yung exemptions pagdating sa reproduction. So example, so gagawa ulit ako ng module. And gusto ko maghanap ng activity for my module. And nakita ko dito sa science bodies. So merong activity sa science bodies, effects of exercise, changes in carbon dioxide output. So, ito yung nakalagay doon. So, pwede ko siyang gamitin ba? So, babasahin ko ngayon itong nakalagay sa copyright niya. All rights reserved. Reproduction of material from this website without written permission is strictly prohibited. Use of this site constitutes acceptance of our terms and conditions of fair use. Ano kaya yung terms and condition niya of fair use? So, ito pala yung kanyang terms and condition of fair use. We can freely use the material for personal, classroom material, teaching material, and non-commercial training. No financial gain. So, printable version of the science body may be made, but pages should be modified. So, dapat yung kukunin natin na page is not more than 20 pages. And maximum na yung 200 copies. So, kunwari magdi-distribute tayo sa students natin. Hanggang 20 pages lang. Tapos, yung pagpapa-photocopy natin, hanggang 200 pages lang. And dapat no financial gain doon. So, pwede natin siya magamit ng free. Pero, pag lalagpas tayo ng 20 pages, tapos more than 200 copies, kailangan na nating magpaalam sa science bodies. At kapag yung gagamitin natin siya sa module natin that we want to publish and we want to sell, so that is for commercial use, so it is not permitted. So, hindi siya pwede under this. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ito. Kung yung module na gagawin natin is for selling purposes or for commercial purposes. So, maghahanap ulit ako ng ibang reference. Kasi gusto ko yung module na gagawin ay ipapublish at pwede siya for commercial purpose. So, pumunta ako dito kay Concord Consortium. So, nakalagay may free ulit na activities. So, nakita ko itong experiment with ecosystem. So, pwede ko siyang gamitin, ba? So, nakalagay dito sa license niya, CCBY 40. Anong ibig sabihin nun? So, this resource is provided under the terms of Creative Commons. So, mamaya i-discuss natin, ano ba yung Creative Commons? You may distribute, remix, tweak, and build upon the resource non-commercially and commercially as long as you provide credits to Concord Consortium. So, ibig sabihin, pwede ko siyang gamitin for commercial purposes. Basta mag-a-attribute ako sa Concord Consortium. So, eto na yung aking module. So, nakalagay Virtual Experiment with Ecosystem. Developed by Concord Consortium. Ito yung screenshot or yung image nila. Tapos sa baba, medyo hindi lang kita. Nandito nakasite kung saan galing yung source. Tapos sa reference list ko, naka-indicate din si Concord Consortium, pangalan ng activity, saan ko siya kinuha. Okay, so ganun lagi yung ating attribution. Merong in-text, tapos meron sa reference list. So ano naman yung authorship? So pag sinabi nating author, of course it is a natural person and who created the work and who made substantial contribution. So the authors who should take credit should have a substantial contribution. Ano ba sinabi natin pag substantial contribution? Mula conceptualization, planning, organization, and writing the major portion of the module, kailangan nandun kasama si author. So, pwedeng joint authorship, marami kayo. So, meron kayong automatic magkaka-co-authors kayo. So, dapat mula sa umpisa hanggang sa huli, meron kayong contribution. So, yung mga supportive functions, for example, designing ng cover, o kaya layouting, advising, o kaya kayo yung proofread. So that is supportive functions. Hindi na kayo kasama sa author. Doon kayo sa acknowledgement. Pero as an author, we have responsibility. Number one responsibility natin is to check for the accuracy of the content. This is number one. Kasi nga, kaya nga kayo yung author kasi knowledgeable kayo doon sa topic na yon. So dapat automatic, accurate yung nilagay nyo doon sa inyong module. Quality of presentation, so yung arrangement, layouting, so dapat na-ensure nyo na yung quality nun. Even yung format, so magbibigay diba ng format sa atin pagdating sa module. So kailangan, yung nagawa nating finished product, prescribed na doon sa format na binigay sa atin. kahit si publisher, meron din siyang format na binibigay. So, dapat tugma doon sa hinihingi ng format. And lastly, spelling and grammar check. So, responsibility na yan ni author. Hindi natin dapat isipin na, ay, dahil meron namang editor or proofreader, siya na bahala. Hindi. Dapat, as an author, responsibility natin yung spelling at saka grammar check. Lalo na sa technical terms. May iba't iba kasi tayong technical terms sa iba't ibang discipline. So, ano ba yung tamang spelling doon? And one thing that we should remember is that sometimes the author may not be the owner of the copyright. So, pwedeng siya yung owner, pwede siya yung author, pero hindi siya yung may-ari ng copyright. Example, so the works created by the author during the course of his or her employment, the copyright belongs to the employer. So it is the result of his performance for his regular assigned duties unless there is an agreement expressed or implied. So for example, as a student, gumagawa tayo ng thesis and dissertation. Kayo yung author, syempre, ng thesis at dissertation. Pero yung may-ari ng unpublished work nyo, sino? So, hindi naman kayo gagawa ng thesis and dissertation kung hindi siya required ng school. So, ang may-ari ng thesis and dissertation is yung school unless merong nakasulat sa policy that the author is also the owner of the work. So, for example, pinapagawa tayo ng module kasi yun yung ituturo natin sa mga student natin next school year. So, ang may-ari nun is yung employer natin kasi ginawa natin yun because of our duty as a teacher na gumawa ng module. Okay? So, minsan, ganun yung cases. Unless meron kayong written agreement. So, ano yung checklist? So, ito importante to para ma-ensure nyo na yung gagawin yung module or thesis research is within ethical compliance. So, number 1, you have obtained permission for the use of unpublished work. Maraming unpublished work, katulad ng thesis and dissertation, that is unpublished work. Hindi nyo pwedeng kopyahin agad-agad yon. Susulatan nyo sa author. Kaya nga, di ba sa likod, pinapasulat natin yung contact number ng author para mai-email siya or makontak siya nung gustong gumamit ng kanyang gawa. You have properly cited other published work presented in your work. Have all the authors reviewed the module and agreed on the responsibility of the content. So, hindi porket siya yung una dun sa order ng author, siya lang lahat nagbe-bear ng responsibility. Hindi, lahat ng nakasulat doon ng authors is merong responsibility doon sa content. And then all the modules agreed on the order of authorship. Usually kasi sa publication, kung sino yung nauna, siya yung primary author. Ibig sabihin, siya yung maraming na-contribute doon sa gawa hanggang sa decreasing order. Pero minsan naman hindi, equal naman siya. So kapag equal yung contribution ng authors, maglalagay kayo ng author's note. So the following author made this, and then the following author made this and this. So ganun yung nilalagay sa author's note. And then, have you obtained permission for the use of copyrighted material you include? So example, ulit. Sa pictures kasi minsan nakakalimutan natin magkaroon ng proper attribution. So minsan sa Flickr ako humahanap ng pictures kasi magaganda yung kanilang pictures tapos siya, nasa Creative Commons. Okay? So dito gusto kong gumamit ng kotse para sa module, picture ng kotse. Napili ko itong kotse na to. Tapos, lagi yung titignan to. So, nakasulat dito, some rights reserved. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng some rights reserved? So, wag yung kalimutang basahin yon. Nakalagay dito, you are free to share, copy, and redistribute the material for any purpose, even commercially. Pero may nakalagay, no derives. Anong ibig sabihin ng no derives? So, eto yon. Give proper credit, attribution, kung sino yung may gawa. No derivatives, ibig sabihin, you cannot modify the material. So, ibig sabihin, itong mismong picture as it is, hindi natin siya pwedeng baguhin. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng no derives. So, ano ba yung Creative Commons? Ito yan, makikita natin yan sa mga open sources kapag nag-search kayo. So, Creative Commons, this one is a non-profit organization. So, they aim to make others' work available for sharing legally. Okay? So, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng Creative Commons licenses under public domain tools. So, this one, a person or an organization can have free, simple, and standardized way to grant copyright permission for creative and academic works and to ensure proper attribution and allow others to copy, distribute, and make use of work. So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng Creative Commons. Now, for example, sa CHED, meron silang open resource. So, ito yung una nyo makikita pag sinerch nyo yung CHED open resources. Pag binasa nyo maigi, meron nakalagay, the materials are licensed under CC, BY, NC, NB. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Pwede ko bang gamitin tong reference na yun? Yung ibig sabihin ng CC is Creative Commons. Ano yung BY, NC, at saka NB? Ito yun. So, lagi nyo po itong titignan. So, ito yung icon niya. Tapos, ito yung mga licenses. Iba't ibang klase ng license. Ito yung mga pwede nyong gawin. So, attribution, ibig sabihin, dapat lagi nyo pong isa-cite yung source. Okay? Remix, ibig sabihin, pwede ba o hindi nyo pwedeng i-modify. Ito po yun. Ito naman, pwede ba o hindi pwedeng i-commercialize. So kung ang gagamitin nating module ay for non-commercialization, so pwede natin itong gamitin lahat. Pero kung for commercialization, for selling, hanggang dito lang tayo sa BY, ND. So, ang CCBY, that is, you need attribution. So, pwede mo siyang i-modify, pwede mo siyang gamitin for commercial use. Basta, isa-cite mo yung work. So, kung may nakita tayo na lesson or activity online, tapos ganito yung license, pwede natin yung gamitin, pwede nating i-adapt, pwede nating i-modify, pwede nating i-share, even for commercial purposes. Paano naman kapag attribution, share alike? Ang ibig sabihin nito, i-credit natin yung owner, pero dapat yung license pareho ng terms na SA din. For example, gumamit tayo sa Wikipedia. So, ang license nila is BYSS. SA. So, ibig sabihin, yung content na galing sa Wikipedia, ginamit natin sa module natin. Dapat yung module natin, ang license niya rin is naka-SA din. Pareho din ng license na BYSA. Ano ibig sabihin ng ND? Ito, ulit, bawal mag-edit, bawal baguhin yung original source. Pero pwede natin siyang gamitin for commercial purposes. Ano naman po ang ibig sabihin ng NC? Ang ibig sabihin ng NC ay non-commercial. Pwede natin siyang gamitin, pwede nating baguhin, pero hindi natin siya pwedeng gamitin for commercial purposes. Ito, NCSA. So, dapat share alike, pareho ng terms ng license, pero hindi rin siya pwedeng gamitin for commercial use. At ang last one, ito yung pinaka-strict. So, ito, pwede natin gamitin, basta mag-a-attribute, pero hindi natin pwedeng baguhin, at hindi natin pwedeng gamitin for commercial use. So, ito po yung ibig sabihin nito. So, yung open sources sa CHED ng UP OpenU, so pwede natin siyang gamitin with attributions, pero hindi po natin pwedeng baguhin at hindi natin pwedeng gamitin for commercial use. So, paano ba tayo mag-a-attribute ng license? So, ito ulit yung picture natin kanina. So, ang ilalagay po natin is yung title. So, ano ba yung title nito? Hanapin natin. Car. Author. Siya po yung author. source, ito po yung source natin, tas anong klase ng license. So, ito yung attribution niya. So, kahit mahaba yung kanyang URL, kokopyahin niyo po yun. Galing siya sa Flickr. Tas ito yung license niya. CC BY ND tapos Creative Commons 2.0. Saan ko ito nakuha? Ito po yun. CC BY ND 2.0. So, yun po, yung proper attribution. Paano kapag gusto ko ay nagtitipid kasi, mahal kasi ang printing kapag colored. So, gusto ko black and white lang. So, kailangan i-modify ko. Hindi ko pwedeng gamitin yung picture na yun kasi nakalagay sa license niya, no modification eh. So, pupunta ulit kayo sa Flickr, pindutin nyo itong Creative Commons, pwede kayong mamili dito. So, all Creative Commons, commercial use allowed, modification allowed. So, ang pinili ko ay pwede siya for commercial, and then pwede ring mag-modify. So, nung nakapili na ako, ito yung napili ko na picture. So, pinindot ko yung license niya. Nakalagay dito, no restriction. So, pwede siya for commercial, basta mag-attribute ako, tapos pwede ko rin siyang baguhin. So, kapag sinite ko siya, ito yung binago ko, black and white. Naka-grayscale lang siya. So, ito yung author, year, title, source, URL. Ito yung license niya. Tapos, huwag niyong kalilimutan kung ano po yung modification na ginawa niyo. So, nakalagay dito, desaturated from original. Ganun po yung proper attribution. So, saan tayo makakita ng mga open content? For example, sa image, pwede natin syempre gamitin si Google Image. Paano nyo po masaselect yung copyright? Usually, naka-default kasi siya na not filtered by license. So, ang gagawin nyo po, pupunta kayo sa tools, mamaya i-explore nyo to. Sa Google, meron siyang tools. Tapos punta kayo sa usage right. Pag pinindot nyo po to, lalabas to. So, mamili kayo ng gusto nyong license. So, for example, labeled for non-commercial reuse with modification. So, yun. Pwede na kayo makapili. YouTube. Sa YouTube, pwede rin kayo makapili ng Creative Commons. Kasi automatic kahit ano yung lalabas sa YouTube. Pero pag sinelect nyo itong filter, meron silang feature ng Creative Commons. So, yung lalabas ng mga video ay may Creative Commons. So, meron siya mga licenses na pwede natin gamitin. And then last, so ito maganda to, yung OER, Common Course Resources. Marami tayong pwedeng magamit dito. I-filter nyo lang. So, filter nyo, may mga subject dyan. For example, ito, Technical Education, Culinary Arts. Tapos, hanapin nyo yung condition. Anong gusto nyo condition? No string attached, remix and share, share only. Tapos, mamimili na kayo dito ng source na gusto nyo gamitin. And then, of course, sa CHED, meron din silang tinatawag na CHED Connect. So, be careful lang kung anong klase ng Creative Commons license yung nandito sa CHED Connect. Ayan, ito, these are my references. So, thank you. That would be all. Hopefully, itong aking session nakatulong on how to ethically use different references.
Thank you very much po for your wonderful talk. As per questions, Ma'am Ara, we have 2 questions. Number 1 would be from Engineer Salvalosa. How to cite personal interviews, and since we are not just limited to book reference from the library, is it possible that our module does not include materials from the library at all?
Kung ang reference natin is for open source naman siya, katulad ng sa internet source, ibibigay lang natin yung link sa mga student natin. But for example, personal book natin yon. So kung personal book natin siya, portion or pages of that book, pwede natin i-share sa ating student for their copy. Pero hindi yung buong book, lalo na kung wala po sa library.
Okay po. Second question, ma'am, from Ma'am De La Paz. paano pag i-plan, i-publish yung unang nagawang laboratory manual ng thesis? Kanino bali ang authorship, ma'am?
So, ang authorship, syempre, doon sa nagsulat ng laboratory manual. Pero ang owner niya ay yung MPC or yung school. So, ang gagawin lang po ni writer is magsusulat niya siya kay MPC that at yun yung intention niya. She would like to use that module for her ganyan. Yun.
Okay. So, if you still have any questions po, pwede po kayong mag-send ng kanyong questions sa aming Gmail account at mpcresearchoffice@gmail.com. Again, that's mpcresearchoffice@gmail.com. Now, let's move on to our closing remarks from Dr. Maria Luella Orufa, the Vice President for Academic Affairs.
Good morning again. I was just encoding my last request in behalf of the faculty members that if ever Miss Ara, they will need some copies, please make them available. Because while listening, that's why I did not entertain any text messages because I was really focused. This will be very essential since we will be preparing our different teaching modules, and a memo has just arrived from the Office of the Commissioner that we have to submit our flexible learning plans for this coming August. Although many of us have already done with our thesis and dissertation writings, still this is very timely for us to remind because the President is planning for us to publish our teaching modules which might be of help to other SUCs, if ever. So let us put into heart what just Ms. Ara has shared, because this is not a light matter to be taken. We really have to be very careful so that at the end, there will be no repercussions both for the writers and the college. The last question was that since, as I hope I was clear in remembering this, since the teaching modules will be prepared because it is part of our duties as faculty members of the college, this now will become the property of the college. Am I right, Ms. Ara? And
Yes,
therefore, although the President is planning for publication and printing, there are still rules that we have to follow. And the most important part here is the preparation of the teaching modules. We will not encounter problems, I hope, at the end of these finished modules, provided we follow all what the Director of R&D has shared. The President was quiet, a little bit disappointed because we were hoping for a bigger number because we have 158 faculty members, both permanent and temporary, and everybody will be writing his or her own teaching modules. It might be a collaborative one like what the languages did and the other departments. Still, everybody should bear this in mind that we really have to follow. Another request from the President, I hope this video can be available, Ms. Ara, so that those who were not able to join our webinar can still be guided. And of course, my request for soft copies, please make them available in behalf of those who missed this webinar so that everybody will be guided. Again, in behalf of the academic community, thank you. You were given a very short time to prepare this webinar, and yet you surpassed with flying colors. Thank you again, Ms. Ara, for helping MPC up to this time. Thank you very much, and all the other people under your care, thank you very much. Good day, everyone.
Thank you very much for the closing remarks, Dr. Rica. Now, may we just inform everyone that for the certificates, it will be provided to your email address after 5 business days. Now, we will be opening the link right now for the survey, and it will only be open until 2 p.m. Again, we thank you very much for attending today's webinar. The soft copies will be forwarded to your emails. Please give us 5 business days for it to be completed. On behalf of the Research and Development Office, together with me, Ma'am Sonia and Ma'am Ara, as well as Charles Teacher, we thank you very much for attending today's webinar and we hope to see you soon again. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you po. May nabasa ako, picture taking daw po. Pwede po ba tayo mag-picture? Open po natin yung video natin. Hindi pa naman ata lumalabas yung...
Ma'am, you're still recording.
Yes po.
Oo, ma, walang picture.
Ah,
Photo op pala, photo op.
oo.
Hi, Ma'am Buday.
Ayan, ready na po. Open po natin yung video natin.
By force lang.
Ready po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Isa pa po. Naka-close pa po yung video ng iba.
Ay,
Sige.
yung pala,
Ayan po.
sarado pa yung form.
1, 2, 3, smile.
Hindi ko pala nabuksan yung survey.
Ayan. So, thank you po. Yung soft copies po, isasend naman po namin through email. Pati po yung video, pag na-edit na po namin, send po namin sa Facebook or sa YouTube account.
Thank you again,
po.
Miss Ara, and thank you everyone.
Thank you po. God bless po.
Thank you po.